Welcome back. If you are new to this channel, I am Sarah. I tell stories with a message. I want you to think back to a movie that absolutely changed you. Maybe you were 8 years old, sitting in a theater with your dad. Maybe you were 40, watching with your kids for the first time. But there was a moment, in a dark theater, when something on that screen made the world outside feel smaller, and the universe feel enormous, magical, and full of possibility. For 3 generations of moviegoers, that film was Star Wars. And the story of how it almost never happened, of how one quiet, anxious, completely stubborn filmmaker took on every single person in Hollywood and won, is one of the greatest underdog stories ever told. Stay right here. This one is pure joy. In the mid-1970s, George Lucas was a quiet, bearded, slightly rumpled young filmmaker with exactly 2 feature films to his name and an idea he could not let go of. The idea is enormous, a vast, mythological space adventure, full of heroes and villains, ancient wisdom, impossible worlds, and a battle between darkness and light that feels as old as every story ever told. Lucas has been working on it for years, filling notebooks, rewriting it over and over, pouring everything he has into a screenplay that he is absolutely certain the world needs to see. Hollywood disagrees. He pitches it to Universal Studios. No. He takes it to United Artists. No. He brings it to Disney. Not a chance. Studio after studio looks at his space opera about a farm boy, a princess, a pirate with a heart of gold, and an army of robots and aliens, and passes without a second thought. Finally, a man named Alan Ladd Jr. at 20th Century Fox says yes. By his own later admission, he does not entirely understand what he is agreeing to make. But something about Lucas's passion convinces him. Fox hands over $11 million and tells him to go make his space movie. What follows is, by almost every account from everyone who was there, a production that feels at every moment like it is about to fall completely apart. The special effects Lucas wants have never been attempted before in cinematic history. They do not yet exist. So Lucas creates an entirely new company, Industrial Light and Magic, specifically to figure out how to invent them from scratch. Filming in the Tunisian desert for the Tatooine scenes is so brutally hot that equipment breaks down mid-take. The sets break down, costumes malfunction. The little rolling robot that everyone loves keeps veering off course. Lucas develops such severe stress and exhaustion during production that his doctor warns him he is heading toward a serious health crisis. And then there is the cast. Harrison Ford, the man who would play the roguish, wisecracking Han Solo, does not audition for the film in any conventional sense. He is 34 years old, has been working in Hollywood for years without ever quite breaking through, and is currently earning his living as a carpenter, doing renovations inside the very studio where Lucas is holding auditions. Lucas asks him to sit in and read lines with other actors trying out for the roles. Ford does it as a favor. And somewhere in those readings, Lucas realizes he has been looking for exactly this man the entire time. Carrie Fisher was 19 years old when she stepped into the role of Princess Leia. Wide-eyed, Mark Hamill is 24, earnest and wide-eyed, stepping into Luke Skywalker's boots. None of them is entirely sure what they are making. Ford is famously candid about his feelings toward the dialogue, in terms that I will leave to your imagination, but that were, by all reports, extremely colorful and not entirely wrong. When Fox executives gather for an early screening of the completed film, the reaction is not good. Most of them are baffled. Several are openly dismissive. The studio's real excitement that summer is focused entirely on another film they are releasing, The Other Side of Midnight, which they are absolutely certain will be their big hit of 1977. Star Wars opened on May 25, 1977, in just 32 theaters across the United States. 32. Because Fox does not believe in it enough to give it a wide release. What happens next is something Hollywood had never seen before, and has spent every single year since trying to recreate. People walk out of those 32 theaters and immediately, urgently, tell everyone they know. They call their friends from payphones on the way home. They show up at work on Monday morning and cannot talk about anything else. They go back to see it again that same weekend and bring their families, and then go back again the following week. Within weeks, the film expands to over 1,000 theaters. People see it 10 times, 20 times, 30 times that summer. Children memorize every line. adults feel something they have not felt in a movie theater since childhood, something enormous and human and alive. By the end of its original release, Star Wars had grossed $775 million worldwide, making it the highest-grossing film in history at that time. Adjusted for today, that number climbs above $3 billion. Fox is stunned, Hollywood is stunned, and somewhere out there, George Lucas, the quiet filmmaker that every studio in town once turned away, is watching it all with the particular satisfaction of a man who knew something the whole time that nobody else could see. But here's the detail that makes this story absolutely perfect. Before production even began, Lucas sat down with Fox to negotiate his contract. He made a decision that the executives found mildly eccentric at the time. He agreed to give up a portion of his director's fee. In exchange, he asked for something that Fox considered essentially worthless. He asked for the merchandising rights to Star Wars. The executives agreed without hesitation. Who, after all, was going to buy toys based on a science fiction movie? Star Wars merchandise has generated more than $42 billion in revenue. The executives who laughed at the merchandising clause went back to their corner offices. George Lucas went and changed the world. You know what I love most about this story? And I mean the part that actually stays with me long after the box office numbers fade? George Lucas was told no by everyone. Every single person whose job it was to know what audiences wanted looked at his dream and said it was too strange, too big, too different, too much. And he kept going anyway, not with arrogance, not with bluster, with this quiet, steady, almost stubborn certainty that the story he was trying to tell was worth telling. He rewrote that script over and over again for years before a single camera rolled. He believed in it when nobody else did, and because he did not stop, 3 generations of children grew up knowing what it feels like to believe in something larger than themselves. And that makes me think about you, because every single person watching right now has a story that has never been told. Not a movie, not a franchise worth billions. Just the real, human, irreplaceable story of your life. The things you believed in when nobody else did. The dreams you kept going back to even after someone told you no. The moments that felt small at the time and turned out to matter more than you ever expected. Have you ever thought about writing those stories down? Not for Hollywood, not for anyone outside your own family. Just for the people you love, who will one day want to know who you were before they knew you. What made you keep going? What you built out of nothing because you simply refused to quit. Those stories are your legacy, and they belong to the people who come after you. Please do not let them disappear into the ordinary business of everyday life. That is why I want you to grab the free Family Story Writing Guide right below this video. It is warm and simple, and it will help you take the very first step toward telling the stories only you can tell. It costs you nothing, and it could mean everything to someone who is not yet born. And while you are down there, please hit that subscribe button and join our History Sparks family. Every single day, I bring you a story that surprises you, moves you, and reminds you that the most extraordinary things in human history were started by ordinary people who simply refused to listen when the world said no. Just like Lucas, just like you. I will see you tomorrow, and trust me, you absolutely do not want to miss what is coming.